Very good morning, everyone. So, we are here for a webinar and also on a demo class on clinical research, the career of the future. So, myself, Mrs. Neelima Yelluri, and I am right now taking care of the training part in clinical research and clinical data management. Along with me, my another trainer, Navshin, will be taking care of clinical data management sessions, which will be there hereafter once we complete clinical research classes. Okay, so moving ahead, we will in today's class we will be also knowing about different aspects of clinical research. What exactly is clinical research? What are the different career perspectives that are available on clinical research in the industry? And along with it, we'll try to explore each and every content, each and every topic, each and every question that you people have in your minds. And also, with all my experience of 9 years, I will share you a complete detail of clinical research in our journey, which will start soon. But in today's class, we will just have a basic idea on what is clinical research, the career perspectives of clinical research, and what is clinical data management, and again the topics that we cover in clinical data management. Okay, so moving ahead. So first we will also discuss about what is clinical trials, or what exactly is clinical research, and then phases of clinical research and the career aspects of clinical research. So, what exactly is clinical research? And understanding clinical research is very, very important for you people and also for any life science graduate, whether it is a BSc, whether it is an MSc graduate, whether it is a B Pharm, M Pharm, MBBS, anybody. You have to first understand what exactly is clinical research. So, clinical research refers to the systematic investigation in human beings for evaluating the safety and efficacy of a new drug. And the word clinical means treatment of patients in a hospital. Okay, so clinical research is nothing but the investigation that is being happened on a new drug molecule to check the safety and efficacy parameters. Imagine if there is a new pharmaceutical company or there is an existing pharmaceutical company, the R&D department which is there in that particular pharmaceutical company has discovered a new drug molecule for a particular disease XYZ. So soon after the discovery, the particular drug molecule cannot be launched in the market because that is a new drug molecule. There should be extensive research happen on that particular molecule to launch it in the market without knowing whether the drug is safe or not, without knowing whether the drug effectively works on the disease or not, and without knowing the complete parameters and the complete pharmaceutical profile of that particular drug, it cannot be launched into the market. So the pharma companies and the sponsor companies should do clinical research. That research which happens on human beings who are there as a form of patients at different hospitals will participate in this clinical research or in the trials, and doctors will conduct clinical research at their clinical research sites. So basically, clinical research is the research that happens in human beings to evaluate the safety and efficacy of a new drug molecule. So what is the need of clinical research? What is its importance? Why should we do clinical research? That we'll see in this particular slide. So clinical research and the research is important to know or to bring new techniques for screening and diagnosing a disease. If there are new diseases, there is a requirement of new techniques for screening that particular disease and for diagnosing the disease. So without clinical research, any screening technique or any diagnostic technique cannot come into the market. So clinical research or research is important to identify or to bring new techniques for screening and diagnosing a particular disease, and also, as I said earlier, to bring new drugs to the market. Research is very important. And the next one, new methods for surgery. If you see in the history, if you see in the past, the surgical methods were very, very, very like troublesome. And now in 2023, we are now in 20th generation, 21st generation, and see there is lot of advancement, and there are so many latest things happening in surgical procedures also. So to bring new methods of surgery to limelight, to bring new methods of surgery to the people, again research is very important. And then new medical devices. Earlier there was a normal glass thermometer. Yes, the example that I am giving for this is, and now we have got digital thermometer, and now without even touch we can also see the temperature of any person by using the latest device. So to bring any recent medical device to the market, again research is compulsory. Without research, without clinical research, we cannot bring any new technique, any tool, any new lab technique, or any diagnostic tool, or any drug, or any surgical method, or any medical device to market. So for medical devices and all the things that I said earlier, conducting clinical research is compulsory. And also to bring any new therapy, to add any new therapy to the present profile. In example, we can say the treatment for cancer, it has got both radiotherapy and also chemotherapy. If there is any new chemotherapy that is there in pipeline, or if they want to do any new radiotherapy, or if there is any new technique for that particular existing therapy, to bring that to again people, to bring that again to the hospital, there is a requirement of clinical research. And also new techniques such as gene therapy, skill advancement in complete medical profile, and in complete clinical treatments, and in complete healthcare sector, research is very very important. So simply, the importance of research lies in bringing any new technique, any new diagnostic tool, any new laboratory equipment, any new surgical method, or any new drug to the market. Research, without research, there is nothing new. There cannot be a possibility of any new technique or medicine in the market. That is why research is very important. So if you see in 2020, when the whole world has is being like suffered with COVID till March, like everybody got affected in 2019 December, and by March the whole world, it has started in China and it has spread to the whole world, to the each and every nook and corner of the world, it has been spread. So every country, there were so many reported deaths, there were so many reported fatalities, there were so many reported issues, financial crisis were there, and there were also so many public concerns were there. So to fight that deadly disease, the only thing which has come, which has shown a path to all the countries, is clinical research. Especially when we talk about our government, when we should be very much proud as an Indian, and we healthcare workers, we healthcare clinical research departments work 24 by 7 for few months, and because of that effort, there came into the market 2 to 3 different kind of vaccines from our Indian government and from our Indian companies. So without clinical research, all the things would not have been possible, and today our life is not as what we are today. Yes, so without research, nothing new can be come into the market. There are so many new diseases emerging in the world. Maybe in future again there may be a new disease, but again clinical research is the only way to stop all the deadly diseases and to provide a life-saving medication to the society. Yes, so that is the importance of research and clinical research as well. Next, so improving patients' health. This is very, very important, because without research, without this, without a diagnostic kit, without a laboratory technique, without a surgical method, without a new drug, a patient's health cannot be improved. So to improve patients' health, this is the main motto of clinical research or medical research. For improving patients' health only, complete healthcare sector works religiously to improve the patient's health. So that is also one of the importance of clinical research or medical research. Then, if, like as I said, clinical research happens at a clinical trial site, and a doctor or an investigator is an important person who does this clinical research. So along with the investigator and along with that particular patient or a subject, there are some other people who plays very important role in this clinical research industry. The first and foremost is the Drug Regulatory Authority. Drug Regulatory Authority is that authority which works under the government of particular country and which regulates all the clinical research activity that are related to the drugs, devices and equipments. So until and unless the regulatory authority gives approvals, gives permission, clinical research activities cannot be initiated. For any activity to be initiated, drug regulatory authority is the first and foremost person to give approvals. And the second one is ethics committee. Ethics committee is again group of individuals which work again at a particular site level and which gives approvals to those doctors who wants to do research. And sponsor is a pharma company, sponsor can be an individual, sponsor can be an institute who finances the clinical trial and who initiates and manages the clinical trial. And principal investigator is nothing but a doctor who conducts clinical research at clinical trial site or nothing but a hospital. And clinical research subject is nothing but a patient, a volunteer, a human volunteer who participates in clinical research and who receives, whether it is a new drug, he will be the person on whom we will do the trial. If it is a device, he will be the first one on whom the device will be tried. If it is a diagnostic kit, he will be the first person who lets us know whether the diagnostic kit is working properly or not. So simply subject is a human volunteer who participates in clinical trial. And CRC is nothing but a clinical research coordinator, a person, experienced certified person who participates in clinical research activities along with that particular investigator and who conducts clinical research activities along with the support and along with the extended help from the other clinical research fraternity. And clinical research associate or a clinical research monitor is a representative of sponsor and he will be assisting the trial site in doing clinical trial activities. And then clinical data manager is a person who manages the clinical trial data which has come in the clinical research, and he will be acting from clinical data management team. He will be the person taking care of the clinical research data, and he will also train all the employees who are working under him, and he plays an important role in clinical data management team. And biostatistician, another important person who plays a very important role in designing the clinical trial, in designing the protocol, in deciding the sample size, the each and every clinical trial proposal, each and every clinical trial documentation starts from biostatistician, and also the final clinical trial report will also be prepared by a biostatistician. So these are different members or these are different important people who play a very important role in each and every step of clinical research, starting from the regulatory authority and to the biostatistician. These are different members, and each and every member, if we talk about sponsor, who is a sponsor, what is his role, what is his responsibility, who is an investigator, what is his responsibility, everything can be considered and everything will be detailedly explained in the coming classes. But just as a point to be noted, the important people in clinical research are the given below people. Okay, yes. Moving forward, then, so if we consider clinical research is a very big process, because it is not a one day job or it is not a 1 week job or it is not a 1 month job. Complete clinical research activities takes somewhere between 10 to 15 years to be completed. If we talk about a drug, if we talk about an innovator drug, if we talk about a new drug molecule that is newly discovered for a particular condition, for its discovery, from the point of discovery to be launched in the market, it takes 10 to 15 years. And that 10 to 15 years complete process, it is again divided into three parts. The first part being excuse me. The first part being drug development process. Drug development process is nothing but in vitro or an in vivo process which happens inside the research and development department of a pharmaceutical company. Enthusiastic scientists and enthusiastic pharmaceutical professionals and enthusiastic biotechnologists and enthusiastic pharma technicians, they will be working 24 by 7, and they will be discovering a potential drug molecule, or they will be developing a potential drug candidate by using different steps. The first step being target selection, and the second step is target optimization, and then forward, and then followed by lead discovery, we can also say. And then after lead discovery, lead optimization is done, where out of millions and millions of molecules, out of the millions and millions of drug molecules which are discovered, a final 4 to 3 candidates, which are called as hit compounds, they will take their journey forward to in vivo studies or preclinical studies. Once the drug molecule is finalized, once the hit compound, once the finalized molecule is selected in drug development process in different steps, then this next step happens is in vivo studies in laboratories, in test tubes or in glass beakers, and then followed by preclinical studies in animal models like rats, mice, guinea pig, hamster, and to some extent we'll also use monkeys, cat, dog, and also some other swines like pig, and other monkeys and other animal models will be used to know the pharmaceutical properties of that particular drug molecules in vivo studies. And successful drug candidate which is known to be non toxic, and which is known to be non hypertensive, or which is known to be non side effects related molecule, that molecules will make their path to that final clinical trials. So the first journey starts at drug discovery or drug development process, followed by preclinical studies, and the potential drug molecule which is accepted, which is known to be approved in preclinical trials in animal models, will now their path to clinical trials in human beings. So in clinical trials, again, there are few different phases. The first phase being phase 1. In phase 1, as the molecule is completely new, as the molecule has just come from the preclinical testing, there will be only few patients who will be participating. Only 20 to 80 healthy patients will be participating in phase 1. They will be given with the drug molecules. They will be under monitoring. Their blood parameters, urine parameters, their complete body profile, their complete organ profile, their complete vitals will be checked thoroughly, and the PK/PD samples, that are nothing but pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic samples, will be assessed. And after successful phase 1, if the drug is known to be safe, in phase 1 we will check a very minute amount of drug will be given to 20 to 80 participants, and after giving that 20 to 80 participants with the drug, after checking their blood parameters, after checking their reports, if the drug is known to be safe, if the safety parameters are approved, then the drug will now enter phase 2. And phase 2 is little lengthy phase. There will be 100 to 300 diseased patients. Here a little high amount of dose or therapeutic effect dose will be given to the patients, because the patients are having that particular disease for which the drug has been made. So it will be little lengthy than phase 1, and 100 to 300 patients with the target disease for which the drug has been discovered will participate. They also will be continuously monitored. Their blood profiles, their urine profiles, their vital profiles, their complete body profile will be checked on different intervals, which is completely depend on the protocol. A protocol is nothing but a document which is prepared by the biostatistician, and which gives a basic guidance to the clinical trial team at the investigator level or at the hospital on how to conduct clinical trial, what to do, what not to do, and when to do. All the basic ideas will be given in that particular protocol, and that protocol will be followed by the investigator according to the schedule that is given in the protocol. patients will be called to the hospital and they will be given with the drug, and their samples will be collected and they will be completely thoroughly monitored. So once the phase 2 is completed, all the reports will be analyzed, all the data will be analyzed, and after analyzing the data, if the drug is known to be safe, yes, our drug is safe, it is not causing any new diseases, it is not causing any discomfort, it is not causing any adverse drug reactions to the particular subject who is taking the drug, all the parameters, if they are proved, and if the drug is also effectively decreasing the particular disease symptoms, after considering these two parameters, the drug will now enter phase 3 after successful completion of phase 2. So after every phase, even if after preclinical to phase 1, the safety of the drug molecule will be checked, and after phase 1, after completion of the phase 1, the safety and efficacy parameters are again checked, and after successive phases, after every phase, the safety efficacy parameters are checked, and if the regulatory authority thinks yes, this drug molecule is going to be a breakthrough, it will be useful for the society, it will be useful for the particular patients, then only that particular molecule will be proceeded to the next phase. So likewise, after phase 2, there will be phase 3. In phase 3, we have to give the confirmation to the regulatory authority that our drug has got no side effects, it is completely effectively working on the diseased patients. So phase 3, there in phase 3, there will be huge number of patients participating, ranging between 1000 to 10000 for different parts. It can be a global study which is happening in a single country, and otherwise it can be also international study which can happen simultaneously at the same time at different countries. So the data will be collected, the patients will be under complete monitoring, their blood samples, complete body profiles will be under continuously checked, and after getting all the information, after completing the phase 3 studies, the data will be collected by the clinical data management team, and they will prepare a final clinical trial report. The final clinical trial report, which is made after the phase 3, will now be submitted to the regulatory authority for approval. So after preclinical research, before clinical trials, before giving the drug molecule to the human being, after preclinical testing, the FDA, the particular pharmaceutical company will file a new investigational new drug application, which is called as INDA. And after INDA approval, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 happens. And after successful phase 3, again the sponsor company will file a new drug application, because the investigation is already completed in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. There is no more investigation they want to do. So that is why the investigational new drug, after completion of the phase 3, it will become a new drug, and after NDA approval, the drug will be released into the market, that is called as phase 4. The Food and Drug Administration will review the document to confirm the safety and effectiveness of the drug. They will read the documents, they will review the documents, they will see all the reports, they will see the analytical reports, they will see the statistical analysis, and complete analyzed drug molecule, if it is known to be safe and effective, will be launched into the market. So when the new drug molecule is launched into the market, again there should be a continuous check, because it is new drug, and in clinical trial there are not more than 5000 patients who are participating in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But once the drug is released into the market, the drug will be available at the pharmacies, the doctors will start prescribing it, and somebody may not be knowing its side effects, they start consuming the drug. So the government or the particular regulatory authority will also keep a check to know, once the drug is launched, if the large amount of population, if normal population is also consuming the drug, are there any new side effects, are there any new long term side effects? To know these parameters, they will conduct phase 4 studies, which are also called as pharmacovigilance studies and also post marketing surveillance studies. So in post marketing surveillance, Usually people who are also called as pharmacovigilance officers, they will send some documents, or sometimes the sponsor company, they themselves send some documents which are to collect the data, which are called as case report forms. That case report forms will be sent to the doctors or to the pharmacists who are selling that particular pharma product, and the information from that particular user, information from the patient will be collected and it will be submitted. So all together, and as a whole, clinical trial is nothing but it is a big process which starts from drug discovery in a research laboratory, and its final journey ends when it is launched into the market. As I told you, the drug discovery itself, starting from the target selection and target identification, lead selection and lead optimization, this lead discovery itself takes 5 to 7 years in research and development department. And once the hit compound, once the very potential molecule is discovered, it will now enter preclinical studies, and preclinical studies will happen from 6 months to 1 year. And after preclinical, the journey of the drug molecule on human beings starts in clinical trial, and it will be for phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4, and all these 4 phases will last for again 5 to 7 years. So completely on an average, the drug development process and complete clinical trial, starting from the drug discovery to your bench side, it takes 10 to 15 years. Yes. And then, so as I told you, the total cost of the drug development, it is very very costly. It is not in 100 crores, it is somewhere varying between 3000 to 5000 crores for a potential drug candidate, for a potential diagnostic kit, or any potential laboratory kit, or any new surgical method to be launched to the market, and the total time taken is 10 to 15 years. So, yes, coming next to the very important topic that all you people might be very interesting, or all you people might be completely thinking, that is career prospects in clinical trials. So, in career prospects, we should basically see the very first journey of a good student, or of a good aspirant in clinical research, starts as a clinical research coordinator. So the first and foremost journey is as clinical research coordinator, and with experience. And with experience, they can move from site level to the sponsor level as clinical trial monitor. And as clinical trial monitor, if anybody has experience, they can also become clinical trial managers, and different levels are there at the sponsors or CROs. And if any MBBS or MD student pursues this clinical research course, they can obviously will get to know about the complete details and complete information on clinical research, and they themselves can start working as clinical research investigators. And the other, with experience, as I told you, the first and foremost post being clinical research coordinator, they can become clinical data managers, and with a combination of regulatory affairs course, a good aspirant can also work as a regulatory affairs manager. And in clinical research, there are also again some vacancies and some good openings for medical writers as well, because as I told you, there are so many different documents we use in clinical research. Like we use informed consent form, we use protocol, we use source documents, we use different kind of documents in clinical research. So all that particular documents will be completely written by a medical writer. And then clinical research auditor, to audit the particular clinical trial, again clinical research auditor will be there. So with experience, with at more than 10 years of experience, anybody can become a clinical research auditor. And then drug safety associate under regulatory affairs department. So there are so many different job perspectives in clinical trial, but everything happens with experience. Without experience, without enough journey, nobody can reach to the highest positions. You have to climb the ladder slowly, but the final output, or the place that you can see in the future, will be so fruitful. Okay. Next, clinical data management. And then clinical data management is a critical process in clinical research that ensures the collection, integration, and availability of data at appropriate quality and cost. It leads to generation of high quality, reliable, and statistically sound data from clinical trials. Yes, in clinical data management is nothing but after clinical research, when we have so many patients participating, there are in phase 1, in phase 2, in phase 3, some hundreds and some thousands of patients are participating. So when they participate in clinical trial, we collect lot of information from them. We collect their vitals, we collect their blood reports, we collect their urine reports, we collect their ECG, CT scan reports, we collect their PKPD reports. So all the reports have got lot of information in the form of values. It can be their glucose levels, it can be their hemoglobin level, it can be their WBC level, it can be their total urea, it can be their creatinine level. All the numbers, all the information that is present in these reports is called as data. Sponsors do clinical research only for getting data. So this clinical data should be managed. It cannot be mixed up. One patient data cannot be mixed or matched up with the other person's data, and it cannot be corrupted and it cannot be lost, because sponsor is spending lot of money just for the sake of data. So this clinical data management team is a group of people, is group of qualified aspirants like you, who will be working to collect the data, to integrate it, and also to make it available in high quality, in a reliable way, to make a final clinical data report or to make the clinical study report. So clinical data management team works to bring high quality, reliable, and statistically sound data from clinical trials. And again, clinical data management, as I explained, it is not a very simple process. It is a set of practices that handles the information generated during clinical research, and it aims to ensure the data quality, integrity, and compliance with internal protocols and state regulations. So, clinical data management team has also should also be in compliance with the protocol, and also it should work in compliance with the regulatory regulations that are given by the regulatory authority. So in the coming days of your clinical data management journey, we will be dealing with few topics, that are what are the different guidelines for clinical data management, and what exactly is clinical data management, and what is the clinical data management process, and how to review the clinical data management process, what is database, how it is designed and how it is developed, how to collect the data and where the data will be stored. If it is a case report form, how to track a case report form, and how data entry happens, what is data validation, how the data will be validated for discrepancies, and how the discrepancies are managed. If a discrepancy has come, what is the next step, and how the discrepancy management takes place in clinical data management team, that also you people will be knowing it. And then database lock. Once all the above activities are done, once the data is validated, once the discrepancies are managed, the data which is now available in the database will be locked such that there will be no other changes. So how the database locking happens, and what are the different tools for clinical data management, and who are the clinical data management team members, and what are the different responsibilities in clinical data management team. So all the topics we will be dealing in clinical data management related topic. So, on a whole, if any aspirant, anybody from BSc, bachelor degree in science, whether it can be biotechnology, biochemistry, BPharm, MPharm, MBBS, or anybody from BSc nursing or bachelor of physiotherapy, all the students are eligible for taking part, for that they can take part in clinical research course. And this is very booming, because as you all know, there are so many new diseases coming, and there are so many diseases for which there is no therapy till now. There are so many diseases, like if you see, for cancer there is no particular treatment which is available till date. For HIV there is no treatment available till date. For muscular dystrophy there is no available treatment. For bronchiectasis there is no proper treatment. So for so many diseases, the companies are still working in clinical research phase itself. So there is a requirement of huge manpower. So with that particular course, if you people are very thorough with everything, you can take part in clinical research industry. Yes, thank you for giving me this time.